Now we're going to go over some real numbers. So what do we need to do first? We need to buy a property in a good area. The area is the one thing that you cannot change when purchasing a property. What's up, everyone? Another episode from the Roommate Investor. Here we help anyone achieve financial freedom through roommate living and leveraging real estate. This sounds like something you want to learn more about. Just make sure you follow, like, and subscribe. Today we're going to be talking about the BRRRR strategy. So for this video, I'm going to bring out my whiteboard today. So here we have an illustration of the BRRRR diagram. We're going to go over what each letter means. Here we have a B. What does the B stand for? The B stands for buy. You make your money in real estate when you buy, not when you rehab, not when you sell. So what do I mean by this? The location of the property, primarily, and the price of the property. These are two key indicators when you're looking at the BRRRR strategy, and this buy part is the most important. The first R stands for renovate or rehab. The reason why we want to do this is because we're buying these properties at a discount, and we're usually buying distressed properties. So these properties need to be rehabbed. The reason why we need to do this is because when we're buying a property that's already done, then it has no upside. We're not able to increase the value of a property that's already been increased. So our market is to sell the property or refinance the property to the retail market. So we want to make sure that we're buying a distressed property and that we're rehabbing. The second R stands for rent. You want to make sure that you get a good tenant in the property who can afford the rent and make payments on time. This is very crucial for the next step that we're going to talk about. When you're renting a property, there's plenty of ways to do it. You can go Section 8, you can go rooming house, or you can go long-term tenant or short-term rental. Each process is unique in its own way, and it will affect your mortgage when you're looking to do the next step. Refinance. This is getting a new loan for your property based on the new value. So as you see, with the first R, we did the rehab. When you rehab a property, now your property has a new value. So we want to capture that value due to a refinance. And basically a refinance is just getting a loan, a new loan, to pay off your old loan. We're going to go a little more into depth in this later in the video. The last R stands for repeat. Once you refinance, you're able to pretty much pull all or most of your money out that you put in on the buy. Now that we have that same money that we put in, we're able to repeat this BRRRR process and continue it over and over again. So now we're going to do a real live example. Okay, now we're going to go over some real numbers. So what do we need to do first? We need to buy a property in a good area. The area is the one thing that you cannot change when purchasing a property. You can change the look of the property, you can change the aesthetics of the property, but you cannot change the location. Location. You want to make sure you look for the worst properties in the best areas. So in this example, we're going to do a real life example of what I'm working on right now. So I'm buying this property for $70,000. Now we're going to renovate this $70,000 property. When we renovate this property, we want to make sure we're not spending too much or we're not spending too little. We want to look at the other properties in the area of the same active repair value, meaning when you rehab this property, if you know that the value is going to be maybe $175,000 when it's all said and done, you want to look at these similar homes that sold for $175,000. If those homes don't have granite countertops, you don't need granite countertops. If those homes don't have a privacy fence, you don't need a privacy fence. So this what makes things easy because you're able to just follow the template that's already there. There's other homes that sold in your area. There's other homes that have similar value in your area. You just want to do a similar process to renovate your property just as those homes. In this case, we're going to say that's going to take about $35,000. Now we purchased this property for $70,000. We put $35,000 into the renovation. That brings your total mortgage to $105,000. So in real estate, we like to use the term all in. We're all into this property for $105,000. Now it's time to find a tenant. In this specific case, we're going to use a Section 8 tenant. In my area, Section 8 pays for a 3-bed, 2-bath, $1,800. Now we're collecting rent every month, $1,800. Now it's time to get to the refinance part. Usually to do a refinance, you have to wait about 6 months after you do the renovations. This is because you purchased the house for $70,000. You want to make sure that the bank is appraising your house or finding the new value of your home, and that they're using the new value when they're appraising your home. If you look to refinance before 6 months, they may use the $70,000 that you purchased it for as an appraisal, but you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that they're using the new value of the home because you did work to the home and you want to make sure you're capturing that. Usually you have to wait 6 months for this process, basically enough time to go by where they can fully say, okay, this house has been rehabbed, it's been rented for a certain amount of time. Now we can use this new value. So in this particular case, we're expecting the new value of the home to be $175,000. So now we've purchased the home, we renovated the home, we put a new tenant in the home, and now we're looking to refinance the home. When you refinance the home, the bank will give you up to 80% of the new value. Remember, a refinance is a new loan that pays off your old loan. So let's look at this. Our old loan was $105,000. Our new value is $175,000. So what we're doing now is taking 80% of the new value of the home. So we're taking 80% of this new value, which is $175,000. So what you want to do now is 80% of $175,000 is $140,000. This amount is your new loan. So what are we going to do with this $140,000? This $140,000 pays off your $105,000 initial loan. Remember, we purchased the house for $70,000. We put $35,000 into the home, which equals $105,000. We then took our new value and multiplied it by 80% because the bank will give you up to 80% of the new value in the new loan. So now we have $140,000 to play with, and we're paying off $105,000. Now, after you minus closing costs, we're probably looking at about $135,000 to play with. So in this example, the $135,000 minus our original loan of $105,000, we're left with $35,000. So this is the power of the BRRRR process, because now we're getting a check back for $35,000. Now we're able to do the last step of the BRRRR. Repeat this process over and over and over again. This is how people are able to buy 2, 3, 4 houses a year, a month, or sometimes in a day. If you haven't seen my video on how to buy a free house, this is the way that we do it. And if you want to watch the video, you can click right up here and we go into depth on buying a free house. Thank you. Subscribe and like if you got any more questions or options.